Okay, this is a little sign thing. Put some little pictures on here and all that, like you're already seeing. But this is just me observing a college I am in, but I'm not going to mention much. Let's just call it the University of the Mountain, for obvious censorship reasons. But when you look at the pictures, you're probably going to be able to figure out anyway, eventually. But we're talking about the University of the Mountain's traditions. I'm just going to maybe spend 5 minutes at the most on all the little traditions that you'll probably have already heard about if you go there for a university tour. And one of them is their gowns, although most people would call them Harry Potter robes or something because they look more like that. They're very cool little cape-looking things, except you can stick your arms in, so it makes it look like, a person at Hogwarts, for lack of a better analogy. And supposedly it started in Oxford all the way over in jolly old England, and it's a nice little tradition, I suppose. I have a gown myself, but I haven't worn it in forever. It's just been sitting in my closet. But this tradition is certainly interesting because it has the idea that it has academic excellence attached to it when you wear it. If you wear it, people know, hey, you've got at least, I don't know, half A's and half B's. Although I've noticed I'll always observe something really stupid about the tradition, but I haven't even gotten to my second little observation video where I observe possibly the stupidest tradition I've ever heard of in Sewanee, or wherever you want to call it. We'll say Sewanee. There are multiple places called Sewanee. Anyway, the stupid part about this tradition is that it gets easier and easier to get it. In freshman year, you have to have a 4.0, I believe. At least a 4.0, or something pretty high. Then sophomore year, it's a little lower, like 3.75. Then junior year, 3.5. And then senior year, 3.0. Which means you could successively get kind of worse and worse, or just keep at an average, like half A's, half B's. And eventually, either junior or senior year, you get a fucking gown. And just, ta-da! And to me, that actually kind of contradicts the idea that it's academic excellence, because it's not academic excellence if you're able to get it much easier when you are at a higher level of study. Because you can be a senior, it doesn't mean jack crap in terms of your actual intelligence or academic excellence. It just means you've pass enough classes to not have a 0 GPA or something really, really terrible. But it does not imply anything regarding an academic excellence unless you actually have it in your transcript. Look at this, I got all A's here, A pluses, bitch, and all that, and then you can by all means show off, wear your gown, I don't care. But it just seems problematic when you actually have the idea that it's attached to academic excellence when it's not, because you could be having a 3.0 and that's not exactly academic excellence anymore. That's about a couple of C's short of being retarded. Anyway, next tradition is it's one that's pretty much unfortunately dying, but I have seen a few instances, well, just really one where this has still been kept in practice, and it's called the Sewanee Dogs. We'll just call it that. We can call them mountain dogs, it doesn't matter. I've already revealed somewhat if you wanted to track me, but I somehow doubt I have any stalkers anyway. And I lock my door anyway, so you can't get in. Ha! But the Sewanee dog tradition involves the idea that dogs are allowed in the classrooms. There's a big chapel here too, which I'll get to in the next thing. But it's important enough that dogs were usually apparently seen in the classrooms. You could have them there, they occasionally bark, and it'd be funny and amusing, and people could pet the dogs. I've seen 2 instances, now that I can think of it, although one of them wasn't in class. The first instance is a professor in English department. He has a fluffy kind of hound, well, not hound, I don't know, it's hard to describe it. Very fluffy dog, kind of a longer snout. He's kind of old, but he'll probably, I think he brings him to a lot of his English classes, I imagine, the ones he actually teaches. But he teaches humanities as well, so he had him there occasionally. And the other one is a professor in the religion department who has 2 Welsh Corgis, and lovely things. They're quite they can be a little excessive, but then again, there are other instances I can think of. But the two Welsh corgis, I believe she brought them for comps in one of the classes I was in with her. And thirdly, I think it's right next to the dorm I'm in now. I think his wife is a professor in the math department, and he is a part of the outing program where people do bouldering and biking and stuff. Very nice. But to the dog tradition, there's a dog that they have, and he is very big, freaking giant dog, practically. And he actually, you can see him around because he's actually owned. He has a collar probably to that extent, so it's not illegal or anything like that. There you go, 3 instances. That's more than most people could say for a tradition. There's at least one more tradition I could probably bring up, but it's silly. Let's try to think of another one. Right off the top of my head, just whoosh. Come on. Well, the notion of being multicultural and diverse on the campus. It's a tradition. Well, it's not an old tradition by any means, because that'd be an ironic tradition because the campus here used to be all male, and now it's more predominantly female, and not just because of the obvious evolutionary necessity of having more females. It just appeals to more females up here. But the multicultural tradition suggests that we have a lot of minorities here, and unfortunately, while not completely untrue, it's exaggeration to say 50%, which I believe you can actually find it on the website, www.solani.edu, which if I give you that, you're probably going to be able to figure out where I am and all that. I don't even care, frankly. But there you go. Just look on that website and you can find them claiming, I believe, that it's like 50%, supposedly, but no. I would venture maybe 20%, the very, very most, but probably 10 to 15% are African Americans, Asian Americans, everything else you can think of, Indian Americans, or maybe it would be Native Americans. I don't know about Native Americans. I'm not certain about that. But yeah, the minorities do exist. But if the whole campus claims to have this openness to it, then the question is, why aren't we getting the message out there to more of them? I guess, or something. But maybe I'm just ranting a little too much on that. Now, the next video is going to be possibly much shorter, but it's also, I don't know if I have a script, I have some notes, but I've observed this on the campus anyway, so I'll put it in the next video. This is the part 1 of a 2-parter on traditions of University of the Mountain, as I'll just code name it, even though I've probably already given it away. Some of the website. Anyway, see you later. This is Moichimotsu.